everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I am your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about comic books, movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. Joining me today on this beautiful day in Austin, Texas, is Mr. Josh Delangelo. What's up, Josh?
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hey, man. Guess what? We're both on vacation this
are.
week. High fives. Yeah, that's right. Me and Josh are both on vacation this week. So what have you been doing with your time?
Nothing. Chilling. For the first couple days, I'm planning on doing nothing, that's exactly what I've been doing. Mission accomplished.
Good job.
Supposed to go to Houston later on this weekend for a big family wedding.
Oh, really? Who's getting married?
My cousin on the Quinones side. Mm-hmm. So it's another epic Del Angel Quinones party that's supposed to be happening this weekend.
So. No, like guns fired in the air or anything like that?
Oh, what is this, the Three Amigos?
I went there. I
went there. Sombreros.
It sounds better than what I did, man. Because we're looking around the house, so I gotta go again paint the fence. I gotta do some stuff on the inside. At least it's pretty much slave driving me at this point. Yesterday we're doing stuff around the house, and she like catches me watching TV. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, oh, and she's like, there's lots of stuff to do. I'm like, oh, God. So
I'm on vacation.
Exactly. I'm on vacation, okay? Give me some time to relax here, man. Been trying to watch. I got a bunch of movies to watch and TV, which try to catch up because last week all the new shows came back. And there's a couple other shows that I wanted to check out that are new as well. So, I watched My Flash and Arrow and all those other ones. But the new ones as well I checked out. So I checked out that Lucifer on Fox.
Yeah, you did? Okay.
Turned it off after 15 minutes. That was junk.
Yeah.
And then I checked out the new X-Files, okay? I was kind of excited for new X-Files. I wasn't a fan of it as a kid, but, like I said, as I got older, I feel like my appreciation for it has gotten better. So I went to go check that out. I went through the first episode. It was okay. All right. And then the second episode, halfway through it, I was playing on my iPad or whatever. No, I still don't like it. I tried. I gave it a try at least. Still not good.
Is it the acting or is it the story?
I think it's the story. It's just, it's kind of boring to me, They're just... I think it's the characters as well. The characters, for me, Scully and Mulder, aren't just that interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like... I like those quirky kind of characters that kind of jump off the screen a little bit, and none of them really do that. They don't have a lot of personality.
I feel like I always looked at Mulder as this badass detective. And I don't know if he can pull that off anymore, especially after I saw him in Zoolander, the first original Zoolander where he plays the
David Duchovny, yeah.
And it kind of killed any kind of badass vibe that I got from him. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. It's just not very interesting.
Honestly, I've been used to watching him on Californication on Showtime.
Oh, okay.
And
that's a good character.
He's so eccentric in that show that going back to playing this more bland character as Fox Mulder, I'm just like, I'd rather him... I'd rather see him having sex with women and writing books. I guess.
And Californication.
Of course. And then another show I checked out, DC's Legend of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. Third show from the Arrowverse that started with Arrow and then Flash, DC. It was okay. The first two episodes I've watched. And, kind of like the Flash and Arrow a little bit, cheesy, I guess you could say. The dialogue's not the best. Story-wise, it's pretty good. If you look at a brief kind of what the story is and what happens in the story, it's actually pretty good. There's a couple of twists in both the first episode and the second episode, which actually kind of hold you in there. I'm going to go and spoil the first one for you. So the trailers for this show has been about Rip Hunter is a time master who comes to the past to collect 8 people to stop Vandal Savage, the Immortal, from ruining history. And it turns out in the future... Vandal Savage killed Rip's wife and child, so that's why he's kind of out for personal vendetta with it. So he tells these people that, hey, in the future you guys are legends and you stop Vandal Savage, so I need your help. So they're all convinced that, they're important or whatever. And then they go into the future, or no, they go into the past to try to stop him in the 70s. Hold on. Okay, I'm better now. So anyway, they go in the past, the 70s, and both episodes take place in the 70s, so they're going to jump around. I know, but it turns out they come to find out that the reason he actually picked them, not because they're special, because they're insignificant to the timeline. Taking these 8 people out of their current time does nothing to like the time continuum or time space or whatever. So it's kind of like a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Saying they're so insignificant that taking them out of time means nothing, really. So
Man, just completely using them.
exactly,
too.
but it's kind of cool because that was that twist, you know. The whole trailer was about them being special and he needs them, and only they can take down Vandal Savage. Come to find out, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So that kind of twist in the pilot was kind of nice as far as that goes.
Especially the way they've been marketing it, I've been like expecting a Justice League type, feel from this show, but I guess it's not.
I had someone say it really sounded funny. It's like a poor man's Doctor Who because they're traveling around this spaceship and they're going through time and stuff like that. It was interesting, but
time travel.
It made me laugh. But yeah, the show, like I said, the thing I want it to do more is more character development because there's some good characters there, especially White Canary. I love that character when she was in Arrow. It's a really interesting character. I think they can play off that quite a bit. And other characters as well. But the one thing I don't get now is if we come to find out that all of them are insignificant and he just kind of handpicked them, why did he handpick Captain Cold and Heatwave to come with? I'm like, okay, I can understand if they were actually important as the lie he told them, but now to realize that none of them are important, why would he take these two villains, these two risks, and bring them along too?
Maybe he has a deeper plan for them. Maybe they are somewhat insignificant, but this could jump them into a. Captain Cold is a well-known villain. I thought.
I know,
too,
and that's kind of a bummed about. I feel like if he's hopping around space and time, that he's not going to be able to do battle with Barry.
Yeah.
So, but from what I hear, this might actually be kind of like the team might actually be continually changing. Actually,
yeah,
they're going to flip out. Like the team we have now might not be the same team that we get in season 2.
Okay,
something like that. Which I'm not going to spoil it for you, but by the second episode, the team changes anyway.
What?
Yeah, one of the team members changed. I'll give you that. So you can check that out if you want. Episode 2. One of the team members changed right off the bat, man.
That's crazy.
It's pretty interesting. Again, that's that twist in the second episode. That's like, yeah, the dialogue's not the best, but they keep bringing in those twists. So if they keep, changing it up like that, I can see hanging on and keeping my interest. Another thing that got my interest about this show, we'll go and jump into it. We'll go into the whole CW TV shows right now. Is they said that Stephen Amell is going to be guest starring on one of the future episodes of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Now, Stephen Amell plays Oliver Queen on Arrow, the kind of the godfather, I guess you could say, of this whole CW DC universe. And he actually guest starred in the first episode as well, so people are like, okay, whatever. But it turns out he's not going to be playing Oliver Queen. He's going to be playing Connor Hawke. And he's actually going to be Connor Hawke in the year 2046, where he's going to be a different version of the Green Arrow. So he's going to be like the Green Arrow of the future. And that's what the executive producer Mark Guggenheim told Entertainment Weekly. And he said, as an added bonus to comic book fans, Oliver is missing his left arm and will be sporting a goatee in a nod to the character's appearance in The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty cool. So he's going to be looking like, he does in The Dark Knight Returns, which would be really cool. And there's that fan art. Did you see that fan art I posted of him? I put it on the group.
I think I did.
But yeah, they took like a picture of Stephen Amell. They gave him a goatee.
Yeah.
Took away one of his arms, and then they gave him a kryptonite arrow as well.
It's all edited too, right?
It's all fan art and stuff like that. Yeah. But that was pretty cool. I'm kind of interested because now, as far as what's going on in Arrow, Oliver Queen just found out that he had a son. So Connor Hawke in the DC universe, or former DC universe, because they changed stuff around after the New 52, was the story with Connor Hawke is that Oliver didn't know he had a son because Connor grew up in a monastery. And when he found out who his father was, he went go searching for him, but Oliver was dead. So then Connor took over the mantle of Green Arrow, and then of course Oliver came back to life. So he went and got and had a relationship with his father. Of course, Black Canary, Red Arrow, Speedy, they all had like a Team Arrow kind of thing going on after that, which is cool. So I'm thinking this little kid that's in this show right now, he's like 7 or 8 maybe or whatever. I'm like, but his name's not Connor. So I'm like, is that where they're getting at? Are they going to take this kid, put him 40 years or 30 years into the future, and he's going to be the new Green Arrow? Because it makes sense.
It does.
Oliver's a legitimate son, grows up to be Green Arrow. He's got a son right now. I mean,
where does the name Connor Hawke come from?
Connor Hawke. I'm not sure what it was. I mean, that's just his name. Yeah. Is what it is. But
pretty cool name, though.
But that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that I made that connection, so I think that'd be cool if this kid we see grows up to be Green Arrow in DC's Legend of Tomorrow. But also the fact that they're going to make him look like Green Arrow from
Dark Knight Returns is pretty cool, man.
And that'll be pretty cool.
That was one of my favorite parts of that the graphic novel and the movie.
Yeah, definitely cool. All right, so continuing on with CW's DC Universe, I had a revelation as well. One thing that happened, spoilers coming up, guys. If you don't want to hear this, if you haven't watched the latest episode of Green Arrow, turn it off now because it's a spoiler. There was a surprise death in the newest episode of Arrow. Amanda Waller, who has been on the show for 3 seasons now, not a main character, but she pops up every once in a while, died. It was very, very surprising, very unexpected, but she dies, and I'm just like, it just felt out of place. I'm like, why would they go take away this kind of insignificant character? Like, she was a part of the show. You didn't feel like she was one of those characters that would die, but they did. So
she kept balance to the show, maybe.
Kind of. It was surprising. But then as soon as that happened, it got me thinking, was Amanda Waller is going to be a dominant character in Suicide Squad, played by, I believe it's Viola Davis is her name. So I'm thinking, and I know DC and Warner Brothers have said they're not going to worry about, crossing over characters as far as TV and movies, because they're going to have Barry Allen both on the TV show and in the movies. But a part of me is like, did they kill her off just because she's going to play a bigger part in Suicide Squad? And then, to pull that theory as well, I was listening to Collider Movie Talk yesterday, and somebody wrote in asking about Jim Gordon not being in Batman v Superman. And they're like, are we going to get a Jim Gordon? And of course, in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Batman or Bruce Wayne is older, so we could say that Jim Gordon has retired or he's even dead or something like that. But still, we don't know if he's going to show up at all in this DC cinematic universe in this movie or in any future movies. And that got me thinking as well, Jim Gordon is the dominant character in the show Gotham as well. So I know they said they don't mind crossing over and having the same characters for movies and TV, but to me it seems like it's a little obvious at this point, like they're trying to avoid that.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think they're lying. I think they absolutely don't want the confrontation between the two characters. I mean, if you have two characters, one on television and one on a cinematic
played by
universe,
different actor and actresses.
Different actors, you're going to compare them the whole time, and it's all on the same team. So as a business move, I could see how that's not a very good idea. You don't want to create too many choices for an audience.
Of course, the main thing is with Barry Allen, because yes, he's on a TV show, but then they're going to get Ezra Miller to play him in the movie. But that's different, I feel like, because Jim Gordon and Amanda Waller are secondary characters. The Flash is a dominant character, like a main character, A-lister in the DC universe. When you think Justice League, you think Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then usually the fourth person that comes to mind is Flash.
I'd agree.
So with that, I can see how they have to have him in both. Plus, I bet they didn't expect the TV show to be as big as it is as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do about that. But the secondary characters like Amanda Waller and Jim Gordon, I can see them trying to control that a little bit more. Honestly.
It still seems like DC's making it up as they go along.
Oh, man. then let's just get into this next story right here, okay? So, Empire Magazine has come out with more pictures from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. And one of the pictures they put out is Batman in that desert kind of wasteland or, war zone, so to speak, that we've seen in the trailers. We saw him fighting guys with Superman symbols on their arms, and we saw parademons flying as well. Parademons are the minions of Darkseid. And for those of you who don't know, Darkseid is one of the most powerful beings in DC Comics. He hopes to conquer the universe and eliminate free will. It's kind of like the Thanos of the DC cinematic universe, which is something I'm going to get into here in a minute. So anyway, the Empire Magazine pictures, one of them was Batman, and in the background he's looking out into a field, and in the field is the Omega symbol, which is the symbol of Darkseid. So this pretty much kind of leads everyone to believe that Darkseid is coming, and he'll possibly be the villain in the Justice League movie coming out in a few years. Which makes sense because in the newest origin of the Justice League, Darkseid was the main villain. And of course, the lineup they announced a few weeks ago, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg, that is the team that they had in the new Origin, written by Jeff Johns, for the new 52. So I can see how they're pretty much, I feel like they're going to take that exact storyline and then turn it around into the movie. The problem I have with this is, okay, Darkseid is like the Thanos of the DC universe, right?
Yes.
Marvel has been teasing Thanos for 4 years now. It's going to be another 2 before we actually probably see him fight anybody. He's a big bad, the biggest bad of them all. And Darkseid they're pulling out in the first Justice League movie. Okay? In the Avengers, they didn't pull out Thanos in that first movie. They teased him because they know how powerful he is and how big bad he is.
Yep.
They teased him, they didn't pull him out. So, say they bring in Darkseid in this first film, the Justice League defeats him. Obviously, it's going to happen. Not in part 1 because it's going to be 2 movies, so part 1 and part 2.
Where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? It's just like my thing with Man of Steel. Superman just took down Zod and basically a gang of Supermen. Where do you go from there, man? I feel like DC, again, this is another thing about DC blowing their load too soon.
Yep. Like eager virgins, it's ready to ready to do it for
exactly.
the first time.
They're so trying to catch up with Marvel that they're rushing it too much.
They're rushing everything, man. I feel the same way. Marvel, I love the fact that Marvel has teased Thanos. I love exactly how they set that whole universe up, man. I cannot wait. They're going to have my attention, too. When Thanos comes around in Infinity War, I'm going to be there with excitement.
Oh, I mean, really, you got to see, to really give the payoff for Thanos 2, he's got to dominate.
Yeah.
He's got to dominate everyone and everything. He's got to be able to take on the Hulk, I think.
But you want to see your heroes, the unstoppable heroes, go through conflict. You want to see them have to gather themselves and better themselves in order to win the day. DC's not going to have that. But it's just going to be like your typical Hollywood heroes save the day movie.
I mean, say they do the Justice League, they defeat Darkseid. So I'm saying, what do they do for the sequel to Justice League? Who do they fight? I mean, Brainiac? I don't feel like he's a big enough villain than Thanos. Thanos is like an intergalactic Hitler, man. He's just as powerful. He can take on Superman.
Oh, yeah. I think he's a great villain choice for a Justice League movie, but the way they're setting it up, you feel like he's coming out too soon.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the 4th or 5th movie in the DCU, and
are they are planning on making a Man of Steel 2, right?
It's not on their release schedule right now. Just like a Batman movie is not on their release schedule either.
Oh, okay.
It's coming. I'm sure it's coming, but they've got all the other stuff.
You can bring Brainiac for that. Brainiac would be pretty cool in another Superman movie.
Yeah, I know, but that's a totally different story. Let's not get into Man of Steel because I'm going to go on and on about that. But you weren't here last week when we talked about DC's or Warner Brothers slate they have coming up. So just to recap, after Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, we get Suicide Squad. Then we get Wonder Woman. Then we get Justice League Part 1. I don't know when Part 2 is coming, but I know it's 2 movies. And then we have individual films because we're going to get Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg. And then we're getting a Green Lantern Corps movie, which I forgot to mention last week as well. But Green Lantern is not featured in that concept picture of the Justice League. So I don't know if he's going to be in the Justice League movie or they're going to introduce him in that or what. But as of right now, it doesn't look like he's going to be part of the main team, so to speak. So with all this stuff coming out, I wanted to ask Josh, since he wasn't here last week, first off, what of the individual films, Cyborg, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, which one are you looking forward to the most?
I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman the most, man. I've always liked the character. I'm excited to see what it's going to do for all the empowerment for the women there. I mean, I'm excited about that one. But the other one that I was reading about is Shazam. I'm more excited about Aquaman, Flash. I'm not.
But that's the thing. They didn't announce Shazam.
They haven't. Well,
remember,
they hired Dwayne Johnson.
Last year, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, "I'm going to be in the Shazam movie playing Black Adam." But guess what? When they get that whole slate of all their upcoming movies for the next 5 years, Shazam was nowhere on it. Huh. So what's going on with that? He's not in the Justice League lineup either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of...
I think they're kind of weighing that one. If they're going to do that film based off of these, maybe on the success of Justice League.
Well, because I heard too, it's not going to be part of Warner Brothers. It's going to be their offshoot company, which is New Line Cinema. So they're saying too, he might not even be part of the DC cinematic universe, which I think is a mistake.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to see. I want to see Superman versus.
I'd rather see like New Line Cinema. I'd rather see them do like the Justice League Dark, which is like Constantine and Swamp Thing and Deadman and all that.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool, actually. I'd rather see them do that and have Shazam, of course, still part of the main Justice League, DCU, all that in that regard. So then okay, I'll ask
Wonder Woman is what I'm looking for.
So which one are you looking forward to least then?
Aquaman.
Okay,
Aquaman.
all right.
I feel like they're gonna.
It's fair.
Destroy everything I've known about.
Of course,
Aquaman.
I mean, you saw the picture of that the action figure I posted at Target, right? I'm like, oh my god, it looks so horrible. Granted, the toy itself was only $10, so what do you expect quality wise for $10? But
$10 too much.
Just the way it is, yeah. It looked bad. But there was also pictures right next to it. They had like $19.99 action figures of like armored Batman and like a Superman like from. Yeah, because if you go to Target and all that, they have the Batman v Superman toys out now, so you can look at all that. But they have a better one, like you said, that Flash I got. That's the 1999 one. So they have like an Green Arrow from Arrow. They have armored Batman. They have regular Batman from Batman v Superman and all that stuff. And those actually look pretty cool, actually. Yeah. So I don't mind that. But yeah, that untoy looked horrible. For me, since I forgot to mention it last week, I'm excited for Green Lantern Corps. Because I always thought that kind of like how X-Men is an offshoot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the X-Men universe has so many characters and it's so vast, you don't need them to be part of the Marvel U. They can have their own universe by themselves. And I feel like the Green Lanterns are the same way. You have, 5 human Green Lanterns, you have thousands more Green Lanterns, you have their own story, unto itself. You don't need to put them in the rest of the DCU. It's helpful, it's cool, but you don't have to have them. They can have their own universe unto themselves. And the fact that they're going back and it says Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
It's not just Green
Lantern film.
Exactly. It's because there's rumors now that it's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in this film. Kind of like a buddy cop movie, like Space Cops,
Yeah.
Something like that.
That would be a good concept.
Can you imagine Danny Glover and Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, but in space? I bet that's how they pitched it, too.
I bet you they did.
They probably pitched it exactly like that.
It's not bad. Sounds like it'll make money.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that if they do it right. Because, again, Jeff Johns, the guy who brought back Green Lantern, has written the best Green Lantern stories,
sure has.
Is chief creative officer over at DC and Warner Brothers. So I'm hoping if they let him take more of the helm on that movie, it'll be a little better. At least that's what I'm hoping. I
think that's a great route that they're going with the Corps instead of just a regular
instead of just Green Lantern.
Another film.
Because again, they're very hesitant, I feel like, about that property because of how disappointed they were with the first Green Lantern movie.
And I love all the mythology behind the Green Lanterns, and to me, it's a more entertaining film when you take all the Green Lanterns and bring them together into one film.
Yeah, exactly. And you haven't even gotten, I know I gave you some Green Lantern to read, but you only got to Sinestro Corps War. There's a lot more stuff, man. As soon as you're done with X-Men, I'm going to get back to Green Lantern, and you're going to flip cool, out, man.
I love going to be awesome. War.
Definitely. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and just keep in the DC universe before we move on. So, where's that? Here it is. Cartoon Network, after months and speculation, is confirmed they are doing a Justice League animated series called Justice League Action. It's going to be very similar to the other DC-based series they do, Teen Titans Go, where there'll be episodes that run about 11 minutes long each. The notable feature in this is that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are returning to their voices of doing Batman and the Joker, where most notably they did it in Batman the Animated Series. The official synopsis runs like this. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman lead the DC Comics superheroes against their most infamous foes in adventures packed with relentless thrills, fun, and action. One of the more notable voice actors, James Woods, will be playing Lex Luthor, and it will also feature characters such as Booster Gold, Hawkman, Green Arrow, Zatanna, Shazam, Flash, Blue Beetle, Plastic Man, and more. Now, there was rumors last year that there was going to be a Justice League cartoon series, but nothing confirmed until now. Prior to this, the other Justice League animated series was on Cartoon Network and ran from 2001 to 2004, which I spent the weekend going and rewatching because it was supposed to be taken off Netflix yesterday, and I guess they changed their mind as well. So I spent 3 days watching it just to, just in case it was going to be gone, and they turned out not canceling it. So
you enjoy it though, right?
Yeah, of course. Before I go into my rant, I'm going to get your thoughts on this.
I'm excited they're revamping those. I'm not very familiar with a lot of the characters, to be honest with you. Plastic Man.
Dude, you need to go back and rewatch that original Justice League series. I didn't know a lot of the characters, and then you go back and watch those 4 seasons, man. You get to know all those insignificant get to know all those insignificant characters like Vigilante and Booster Gold and all that stuff.
If I'm thinking of the same James Woods, I like him as Lex Luthor.
James Woods, yeah. I mean, James Woods from... oh gosh, he's been in so many stuff. Any Given Sunday, he guest stars on Family Guy, of course.
Yeah.
That James Woods.
Yeah, Hercules, right? He played. He was
Hades.
Hades in Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a great voice choice for Lex Luthor. That makes me excited.
What do you think about Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill coming back?
Oh man, of course. I honestly can't see a Batman film or any type of cartoon without Kevin Conroy. That is the voice for Batman. And Mark Hamill, looks like he's getting back into the...
he's getting back in the game, man. Last year was a big year for him. He was in Kingsman. He came back on Flash and did a couple of episodes. Of course, now Star Wars is back in full gear with him. So 2015 was his comeback year, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's only going to continue because, again, we got more Star Wars coming out as well. So that's going to be cool.
We need to get him to lose weight.
They're on it. The Lucasfilm people are on it, okay? Trust me. But here's what I'm thinking. Justice League cartoon coming back, okay, fine. Now, a show I used to love, Young Justice, which I've tried to get you to watch, was very kind of more serious. It was an animated series on Cartoon Network, ran for 2 seasons. Phenomenal show. One of my top 10 animated shows ever, I think, actually. Serious tone, very mature. For someone my age, I can watch it, but I could also, put it on and, put it on for kids too. They replaced that show with Teen Titans Go. And Teen Titans Go is literally the dumbest series I have ever seen. It's so kiddie-ish. It's something a little 5-year-old would be watching it, not to actually pay attention, just because it's so
He likes the characters. He likes superheroes.
No, they watch it because of the bright colors, and it's so almost like a bad acid trip is what it is, okay? And so it's my fear, again, they're going to do this in the same style where it's 11-minute episodes as opposed to 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not going to be like the Justice League's animated series that I just watched, which I love to watch. I still love to do that. I still love to watch Young Justice. They're going to take this and dumb it down pretty much, I feel like.
I don't see them doing that with the cast. The cast tells me the cast that they hired, the actors, the established actors they've hired and casted, that's a waste of talent, man. If you're gonna do that,
okay, I'll go with you on that. Yes, okay.
But I'm not. I especially with all the serious DC films that have been coming out, animated films have been coming out lately. I hope they keep running with it, and I hope they see it. It's a good way to make. I
don't know, man. It's just they said that they mentioned Teen Titans Go, an 11-minute episode, and I'm just like, oh god, not another one.
See, to me, that's where DC does way better than Marvel. I feel like is with its animated films.
Oh, their animated films are stellar. Yeah.
Oh, and that's their thing. They've always been good at it. So stick to the formula with that. Let's not screw.
I guess I just had that original Justice
Pirates Adventure Justice League type thing.
I have that original Justice League animated series up on a pedestal because I do still enjoy watching it. I mean, this one I doubt I'll get into just from the way it sounds, but I'll give it a try. As everything, I will try my best to give it a try, much like I do, and then I'll hate on it about 2 days later. So, all right, so let's step out of the DCU because we've been spending a lot of time on that.
I feel like I need a wash after talking about DC.
Right? I think that's like a crap fest time, you know? It's all every time we talk about the DC movies or whatever, we just have a crap fest on them. But so let's step out of that, move over to Marvel and Star Wars because those are the bright points in our sad, pathetic lives. BBC Newsbeat spoke with Disney CEO Robert A. Iger, and he revealed that the Marvel and Star Wars universes will, quote, go on forever. Iger went on to say in Star Wars that there are various stages of 4 films in development production. There will be more after that. I don't know how many. I don't know how often. And then in regards to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iger went on to say, Marvel, you're dealing with thousands and thousands of characters, own shared universe with the upcoming DC comic adventures, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, which will spawn a slew of new movies. They're already set through 2020, as well as Fox's X-Men franchise. And then he was asked if there might be superhero fatigue with all these superhero universes. And he said, no, I don't think they're getting weary, but I think we keep raising the bar in terms of storytelling that bring them back, that excite them, and make them feel new, and that is what we do for a living. So Iger just kind of confirming, I think we all kind of knew that with the success of not only Marvel's Cinematic Universe, but also Star Wars, Disney is going to try to ride these trains as long as possible. How do you feel about it, Josh?
Speaking of riding a train, I watched Snowpiercer the other day.
Oh, really? What'd you think?
Maybe not want to get on the train. Tell you that much.
I don't think you're going to get on the same train, okay? I don't think any train you ride is going to go like that.
It really wasn't bad. It was a good film. It was kind of weird towards the end. It lost me a little bit. But yeah, overall, good film. It's good to see Captain America and something else besides Captain America.
Cool.
As far as Marvel and Disney and Star Wars, I'm excited, man. I'm so caught up in that genre of films now, superheroes, and especially Star Wars now that's back and revamped. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a big money train for them, I tell you that much. Disney is going to get more rich.
Oh my God, yes. They knew exactly what properties to grab. And that's the thing, too, is because now that Marvel and Star Wars are under the Disney banner, Disney has, more money than God, pretty much, okay? So they can market both Marvel and Star Wars films to make them even bigger than what they were.
Yeah.
They've got that juggernaut behind them now, and now it's just like full steam ahead. It's, crushing everything. It's awesome.
I'm glad that those two, Star Wars and Marvel, have been picked up by Disney. I mean, it's the perfect vessel. If you love superhero movies, if you love Star Wars films, they're going to do them right, I feel like. I feel like Disney's going to do its best.
One thing I'm excited for, too, is now that Disney owns them, when we go to Disneyland or whatever, you get Marvel and Star Wars. Like a couple of months ago, we were in the Disney store, and we had Disney characters, Marvel characters, and Star Wars characters. And I'm like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. Before I buy this whole damn store.
Take all my money, right?
Exactly. That's what it was, too, because Nora wanted some Disney stuff. I wanted some Star Wars stuff. Kind of wanted some Marvel stuff. And I'm like, no, get out now. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah. Man, they sure know how to market. That's what I'm excited about the industry itself. They're going to market the heck out of it.
Stay away from the Disney store.
I'm glad we don't have one at the mall, man.
It's in San Antonio, which... I'm going to the mall. We're going to Dallas this weekend. We're going to the mall. So I'm hoping they don't have a Disney store there. Going to the Galleria, I guess. They have like an ice skating rink there. So we're going to go take Nora ice skating and stuff like that. But hopefully they don't have a Disney store there.
I do like what the executive said about how they're changing the way these movies are made.
They're making them better,
stories. And it makes me think of Captain America: Winter Soldier. What a great spy film!
You're right. It wasn't just a superhero film.
It was
just a great
film. It didn't feel like one. It was a spy film. And if they keep switching it up like that, I'm anxious to see how Civil War comes out.
Oh, I can't wait for Civil War, man. That is going to be awesome. But yeah, Star Wars, Marvel going on forever. Kind of no surprise, but it's nice to know that Iger is 100% behind them. He believes in these franchises, and he's willing to do what it takes to make sure that we all enjoy them. As far as superhero fatigue, you think that's going to come anytime soon? Now that we have a DC cinematic universe, a Marvel cinematic universe, a X-Men cinematic universe, they're all pumping out a couple films a year now.
I've talked to a few people who are tired of superhero films. They've said that exact thing. So it does make me a little worried that we are coming to an end of a superhero age. But I don't think it's anytime soon.
It's the quality of the film. The quality of the films, though, are getting better and better.
Yeah.
So I think as long as the films themselves are quality films, we're going to be fine.
You know what's going to suck, though, is when we run out of these actors become old. Robert Downey Jr.
Marvel, I'm very curious to see what Marvel's going to do post Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
Because that's what they've been building for almost 10 years now. And, all these other original guys, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., they're all going to be at the end of their contract. So do they continue on? Do they recast? Do they reboot?
That's a tough one.
I'm very curious to see what's going to happen post that.
We've invested so much into these actors, into these characters that we now see these actors as the character. It's going to be interesting to see when they're gone and you have to revamp these characters and how popular are they going to be.
I agree with that. Okay. All right, so moving on, because we still have a lot more to talk about. I'm going to go and skip over the Ghost in the Shell story because I don't have a lot to talk about as far as that goes.
I can't believe they casted Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, she's been on the project for a while, and that's the only reason really I would talk about it because she's number one on my list with a bullet. But I don't know a lot about the property. Do you know anything about Ghost in the Shell?
A little bit, not too much. I've been reading a lot of upset people that she was casted, that they casted an American actor instead of an Asian or Asian American.
Whitewashing again, huh? Okay,
yeah,
well let's definitely skip it then.
Upset about that.
Let's definitely skip that one then and go straight into something that you and I are both going to love, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'm going to stop. Okay. All right. So, Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow on the show, actually did an interview recently on BBC Breakfast. And, of course, they asked him about his character because, spoiler alert, Jon Snow died at the end of the last season. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I spoiled it for you.
So sorry.
If you're not watching Game of Thrones, I don't feel bad for you because it's awesome. It's probably my favorite show on television right now. So if you're not watching it and I just spoiled it for you, I don't feel bad because you should have known that anyway. So anyway, he was on this BBC Breakfast show and they asked him about Jon Snow and they said if he's officially dead, and he quote said, "All I can tell you is Jon Snow is dead. He died at the end of the last season." But then the co-host asked him, "But is his spirit still live on?" And Harrington replied, "Who knows? You'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a very exciting season, so I'm led to believe." And of course, we won't get the answer to that until April 24th when Game of Thrones comes back to HBO.
Write it on your calendar, April 24th.
Yeah, exactly. We're all gonna be sitting by our TV just like I'm gonna be giddy as a schoolboy. I swear. I've really thought about like going back and trying to watch all 5 seasons again before. It's a lot of time and effort. Considering all the shows and movies I watch, and of course I have a job and I have a kid, and I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to get that.
Long episodes too, right? An hour?
Yeah, they're all an hour, yeah. It's not like, a show on network where they have like all these commercial breaks and the hour-long episode is only really like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
These aren't, the ones on Showtime and HBO are like 55 minutes apiece because there's no commercials.
They need to make this first episode 2 hours long instead of 1, man. It's not going to be enough.
So, and of course, there was another story. I know Sophia Turner, who plays Sansa Stark and is actually going to be Jean Grey in X-Men Apocalypse, she was asked as well about the new season, and she says that for her character, it's going to be the best season yet, and she's really excited about it and all that stuff. So, 2 parts. One, what do you think's going to happen in the next season, Josh?
Jon Snow's going to come back to life from the Red Queen.
You think he's going to be Jon Snow, or do you think he's going to be a White Walker?
I think it'll be like a Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White type situation. He'll come back as, maybe I guess enlightened. He'll come back as a different Jon Snow, but still Jon Snow.
Yeah, kind of like a Lazarus Pit effect. Like, Ra's al Ghul comes back, but he's like a little crazy, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. So do you think Jon Snow is coming back? I mean, they've killed off every other character, whether it be Ned Stark or Robb Stark or the Hound or, all these other characters they've killed off, so beloved, and they've, not brought them back. Why do you think they're going to bring Jon Snow back?
Ah, man, he's the one.
He is the one. I gave you that. One. But I feel like if they bring him back, it's going to negate everything they do. Because, again, in television and movies, they're so fast to say, oh, this person's dead, but wait, they're not. I think it's so generic nowadays how they do that, how they bring, even in comic books, Captain America and Batman were barely dead before they brought them back.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they killed them, they teased that they were coming back. And I hate that, What's the point of dying if you're just going to immediately bring them back?
Creates drama, man. It makes a good story.
Well, yes, and of course it gets people talking about it. Like, as soon as that episode happens, we're still talking about, the fate of Jon
Dude,
Snow.
the vibe the momentum from that episode has carried its way all the way to April, and I feel like come April, people are going to be dying.
Gosh, yes. Man, I really hope they put these... You know how last season they put the last couple episodes on IMAX?
Yeah.
I really hope they do that again, because we definitely got to go do that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I don't know. A part of me wants to bring Jon Snow back because he is my favorite character. He's really the reason I watched the show. But I don't want them to bring him back for the sake of bringing him back and just kind of do that generic thing.
Personally, I feel like that we've yet to see the full potential of Jon Snow, too.
I agree too. The thing, we got a taste of it. We were so... In that episode where the
cool
White Walkers attacked and he defeated kind of the general, we're like, oh my god. First off, how awesome was that episode? I'm going to go back. I want to go back and watch it just because we're mentioning that. Right? So, and he killed him, and I'm like, oh my god, Jon Snow is the one.
Yep.
And then 2 episodes later, he's dead.
He's done. I don't feel like you can't do that.
That's I think that's part of the reason why we were so shocked about it, because they built him up in that episode, and maybe they did that just to piss us off.
Horrible, cruel people.
They tear us apart like that.
That is, whoever's writing this thing, I know who's writing it, but dear God, this is just not humane.
I want to go back and watch Game of Thrones now.
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll just keep talking about this for another couple months, and we'll go on from there. But I am going to go back and rewatch that White Walker attack episode now, because that was awesome. Okay, so let's move on from there. Let's see, we talked about that. We're going to jump back to the DC real quick, sort of. I'm going to give you a little disclaimer on this. When I posted this on the Facebook group, Josh's comment was, what is Hanna-Barbera? And a part of me died a little. It did. It really is like, I was so disappointed in Josh when he didn't know who Hanna-Barbera was. So DC Comics is going to be coming out with some new comics based off the Hanna-Barbera characters. Now, Josh, in the few days that you've known, have you gone in and looked into what Hanna-Barbera is?
I am now aware of.
Thank God. Okay. Because when I was a kid, Hanna-Barbera cartoons were the shit. All right? So they're going to do a couple ones. So one of them is called Scooby Apocalypse, which is, of course, Scooby-Doo. And those meddling kids and their mystery machine are at the center of a well-meaning experiment gone wrong, and they'll need to bring all their mystery-solving skills to find a cure for a world full of mutated creatures infected by nanite virus that enhances their fears, terrors, and basic instincts. So I feel like it's kind of like The Walking Dead for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But it's cool because the picture of them, they look like more like a special ops team than just like a bunch of like meddling kids.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another one that coming out is Wacky Race, which I remember that cartoon when I was a kid, where they had all these characters from Hanna-Barbera, and they were all in like they were doing races. Like it was almost like an animated Mad Max kind of thing, where they're all racing across the desert and stuff like that.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So the description is, a time of hope and innocence with utopia at the finish line has given way to a planetary Armageddon and a desert wasteland full of radioactive lakes, nanotech dust storms, and cannibalistic mutants. Against this backdrop, the wacky racers and their sentient vehicles continue their contest, but now the competition is for survival, and there can only be one winner when the checkered flag falls. Another one coming out, The Flintstones. We all know who the Flintstones are,
Yeah.
of course. Flintstones, Bedrock's most popular family to shine a light on humanity's ancient customs and institutions in a funny original story of human civilization. Fred is still the simple man striving to be the king of his castle. Wilma is still the tolerant but non-indulging wife. And Barney is still the original wingman, with whose loyalty to Fred often outweighs his common sense. So that was cool. I like the sketch they did of them. It seemed like a little more mature.
Yeah.
Like they look more like actual cavemen than the cartoon. And then the last one is Future Quest, bringing fans new tales of adventure's most iconic teenager Johnny Quest, along with his sidekick Haji. This series combines Team Quest with some of the most well-known action and adventure heroes ever created by Hanna-Barbera, including Space Ghost, the Herculoids, Birdman, and Frankenstein Jr., among others.
Huh.
So, which of these are you looking forward to, Josh?
Scooby-Doo and Flintstones, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I like how they're more of an adult take to it.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
looks
know why.
like
I give that
I mean,
vibe.
the
but-
way they were drawn in these descriptions, especially like Wacky Raceland, they're talking about how it's a Armageddon and future.
Cannibalistic.
I mean, really Mad Max. Yeah,
Yeah.
is what it is, and that's going to be interesting. I think it's still going to be kid friendly, but I can see it being something that adults will enjoy as well.
There was a vibe that especially when I watched Scooby-Doo, that there's a vibe from Scooby-Doo cartoons, man. They're classics, cult classics. So it's a part of me is a little worried that they're making this again, and I feel like it's like a movie that doesn't need a sequel. It to me, I feel like they shouldn't be doing it, but if they're gonna do it right. Hopefully, it's entertaining.
Yeah, I got you definitely. For me, the one I'm looking forward to most is Future Quest. When I was a kid. The TV show on was The New Adventures of Johnny Quest. Now, the funny thing is when my dad was a kid in the 60s or whatever, that's when Johnny Quest first came out. And my dad watched Johnny Quest when he was a kid.
That's cool.
Okay, the original one. And then when I was a kid in the 90s, they had The New Adventures of Johnny Quest, where they updated, where they had like a lot of times where they went to like this virtual reality, kind of like Tron-like world or whatever. They called it Quest World. And they did a lot of battles there, but it was really cool. They had, this young kid going on these adventures. His dad is Dr. Quest, kind of like this philanthropist, archaeologist kind of person. And he goes on these adventures looking for this ancient civilizations and all these stuff, kind of like Indiana Jones almost. And because he's going to these dangerous places, he's got his bodyguard, Race, I believe his name. Yeah, Race. And then he's got his son, Johnny, with him. Now, Race has his daughter, Jessie. And then, of course, there's also their servant, Haji, along with him. So you have this whole group of people going on these adventures and, taking on, mutants and civilizations and all these other kind of wacky adventures. And now you're going to throw in kind of these other Hanna-Barbera characters such as Space Ghost, Birdman. Means like almost like, again, kind of like almost a DC's Legend of Tomorrow or a Doctor Who. They're not going to be traveling the world. They're going to be traveling like the universe and space and time and stuff like that. So that'll be really cool. I think I'm looking forward to that. Being a guy who enjoyed Johnny Quest as a kid, I'm looking forward to seeing how that'll go in that regard. So, all right. So this last one we're going to run through real quickly. In regards Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Now, the actor who played Dumbledore in the last couple of Harry Potter movies, Michael Gambon, has gone on to talk about how he'd love to go back and be Dumbledore again and be in the new J.K. Rowling films. Quoting, "I want to be in it, yes. They've got a Dumbledore. They'll have a young Dumbledore, won't they? But I could be his dad. They could flash back to me. Can you mention it to them? If you see them, I'd like to be his dad." So this kind of almost lets the cat out of the bag almost. If he is in the trust circle, that we're going to see younger Dumbledore, which makes sense because this movie takes place 70 years before the original Harry Potter films, which of course you could still have a young Dumbledore. Dumbledore was old enough; you could have a young Dumbledore in this. But of course, the film takes place not in Britain; it takes place in New York as well. So in that regards, I don't know. I think we're going to see younger Dumbledore. I'd like to see one at least. I'd like to tie that all together. But in that instance, I think it'd be cool. I mean, do you want to see Dumbledore or any other characters?
I just want to see some type of tie-in to the original films. This is a Harry Potter film, but where's Harry Potter? Harry Potter's not in it. You got to give me something that's going to tie me back to...
Well, it's kind of how it is. It's like, this film's going to be the test. It's going to be like, okay, are people more interested in the character Harry Potter, or are they more interested in the wizarding world?
Yeah.
If this film does really well, I can see them... sticking with, because this is a whole trilogy they're going to do.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do well, I can see them being like, well, people want Harry Potter. Let's get Harry Potter back. As opposed to continuing on with this. I can see that going that way. But I would love to see, again, I want to see the prequel story. I know people are against prequels nowadays because of the Star Wars prequels, and we saw how Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader, and it was crap. But me, I want to see Voldemort. I want to see Harry's parents and Dumbledore and all them start that first fight against Voldemort is what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. There's just, from the books, all that backstory. And also, I'd love to see a Dumbledore movie. If you read the last book, The Deathly Hallows, there is so much Dumbledore backstory and such interesting backstory for Dumbledore. I would love to see just a Dumbledore movie, honestly.
Yeah, you
could. Kind of like I want to see an Obi-Wan movie because I believe that character is so great and there's so much there to tap from.
Yeah.
In that regard. So just Dumbledore in general, I'd love to see. I'm not overly excited for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Lisa being the big Harry Potter fan in this household, of course, we're going to see it opening night probably. I'm looking forward. I think it'll be cool because I love the Harry Potter movies. I love the Harry Potter books. I think J.K. Rowling, as long as she continues that magic, no matter the characters, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I agree. Harry Potter, man. I mean, it's that whole universe.
It's another phenomenon.
Wizardry, yeah. I mean, the monsters, everything. I mean, they did a good job with the material they're using. She definitely knows what she's doing. And I trust her writing a very, very entertaining story.
Awesome. That's it, man. Anything else you want to add?
Could go on another hour and a half rant about DC, but I'm going to hold off.
No.
I think I'm going to hold off.
Remember, we're going to be hopeful, okay? We said that. Optimistic, yes. We're going to try to be hopeful about it. It's going to be hard, but we're going to try to do it. Because, again, now that DC has gotten back to the Batman v Superman promotions being about Batman versus Superman, because even like on Twitter now, there's a thing called hashtag who will win, and they're supposed to, hashtag Superman and hashtag Batman.
Well, apparently Darkseid and Doomsday are going to win.
Apparently. But we're all winners, really, because we can see these characters on the big screen.
That's what's going to be awesome about it, man. It's seeing them all on one big screen.
But now that they're focusing more back on Batman versus Superman, the promotions, for me, got me more excited.
Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully that'll be good. But, all right, guys. Well, that's it. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or want to tell us that we suck, email us, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on our Facebook group page or hit us up on Twitter as well. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Slim, SLYM, Dayspring12. Josh, where can they find you?
Instagram, I am Batman 24/7.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us today. Until then, may the Force be with us all.